I'm Lori-Lyn, and I'm sitting here in my Mary garden this morning. This is where I come every morning to sit and pray and meditate and sort of collect myself for the day. I want to be clear about the fact that I'm not an astrologer. Astrology is not something that I've really studied. But I am someone who loves to work with cycles of energy and patterns of energy, and I really love working with the moon and using the phases of the moon or the cycles of the moon to sort of gaze into myself and to see what my personal cycles are. And I love that as an intuitive navigational system. So today we are honoring the new moon, and I think the new moon is a beautiful time to look at the seeds that we're planting, to look at our intentions, to what we are calling in, to what we are gestating in our lives. This is a really good time to look at the changes that we're making and be intentional about those changes. So the question that I'm bringing into this meditation for us today, or this gathering of souls today, is how we can invite peace into our lives, which sometimes feel really chaotic. So it's easy to feel peaceful or to feel calm or centered when you're in a really peaceful environment. But what do you do when you have your calendars booked and you're driving across town and there's a lot going on, and sometimes the things going on in our lives are really good things that we want, and sometimes they're things that we would rather not be going through, and all of this adds to a sort of stress or a sort of chaotic energy that we find ourselves in from time to time. So how do we find peace in the middle of that? I personally think that our lives are created upon the energy of response. And what I mean by that is the way that we respond to what's happening in our lives really creates our lives. It really creates the energy that we're living in, how we feel, and what we're experiencing. So that could be the way that you respond to yourself and your own thoughts. It could be the way that you're responding to other people, statements, or situations that are coming into your life, things that you are dealing with. When you respond from a grounded place, when you respond from a place of peace and calm, even if your emotions are elevated, even if you're angry, even if you're passionate, when you can come into that thread, that grounded thread in the center of your being, when you remember really who you are and what your highest intentions are, when you come at any situation, when you respond from that place of calm, of peace, there's going to be a better result. You're ultimately going to feel better. The first thing that's coming to me when I'm asking this question about how can we invite this in, how do we invite in this peace, this sense of peace and calm, and understand that that could be something very different for you than it is to me. You may not like sitting in meditation. You may not like sitting in a garden space. You may have a different interpretation of what it feels like to be peaceful, and that's perfectly awesome. But the first thing that I'm feeling really in response to that question is a need to look at what we each find to be nurturing and what it is that you need. Like, there have been certain times in my life when all of a sudden I'll just say out loud, oh, I don't think my needs are being met. And I don't even know what that means, but it's just like coming forward and coming up. If you find yourself in a place like that where you feel like I need something, I need some things that I'm not receiving, this is your call to name those things, to name those qualities, those experiences, and find a way to begin to give those things to yourself. This may also be a situation where you need to ask someone else for help. It can be a really hard thing to do, to ask people to help you. But sometimes it is the miracle. Sometimes it is the answer to your question. If you're struggling and you need something, ask someone who can help you. Ask someone if they can give that to you, whatever that quality is that you need. The second thing that's coming to me is about following through with your own impulses and desires and ideas. And so sometimes I think when we ask for help spiritually, guide me, please show me. then the guidance comes and we don't follow it. Because it's coming in a way that we identify as ourselves. And so we think, well, that's not God, that's not spirit, that's just me. Well, you are God. You're the vessel for God. God's coming through you. So those repeated thoughts that you have, just those things that float into your mind, I'd really like to do this. I'd really like to go to the Arboretum and take a walk. I'd really like to go on a camping trip. I'd really like to call up that friend I haven't seen in a couple of years. You may not see the direct relation between the question you're asking, the guidance you're seeking, and this idea, but it's there. And just trust and go with those ideas. Follow those ideas during this moon cycle and see where they take you. The last thing that I'm feeling in relation to this is really about balance and looking at where you may be out of balance. So is there anything that is taking up a lot of your time, your energy right now, that you can just push to the side, that really isn't a priority, that you can just say, I just don't have the energy for you right now. I'm going to put you away and I'm going to come back to you later. And it doesn't mean you're never going to do that thing or never engage with that thing again. But I never think of balance in our lives like a pie with perfectly equal pieces of pie. It will never be that way. There will always be something that's getting more of your attention and time and devotion, and something that's not, and that's the way it is. That's the way life is designed. But when I talk about balance, I really mean just looking at what's unnecessary or what's a drain. Is there something that's not feeding you back, that you really don't have to be spending as much time and energy on that thing as you are? And when you pull that energy back, where can you send it? You can send it someplace more productive, or someplace that feels better to you. So my invitation to you as we enter this new moon is to really plant those seeds and think about what it is that you're inviting in, and think about what your intentions are. Where would you like to be at the full moon? What would you like to see coming into being, coming in and growing in your life in the full moon? As I've been talking to you, there's been a baby bird perched up on the fence in front of me, and he's got his little downy feathers, and I think how symbolically perfect that is for the new moon, just a little baby bird getting ready to fly out. So you can be that bird. You can decide where you're going to fly, and use these skills, use your ideas, use your ability to self-care and self-nurture. Ask for the help that you need and see where you are at the full moon. See where that takes you, and ask yourself how you have cultivated peace and calm in your life. You may even want to start by writing that intention in your journal today, and give yourself some ideas, some ways, some techniques for bringing peace or responding with peace, coming into that peaceful center. Check with yourself as we go along. Write about this at the full moon. Look back over this cycle and ask yourself, how did I do with that? How did it feel? Did I have those moments of peace within the chaos? That's what I wish for you. Have a beautiful day.